Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us for December's edition of Health Bytes with Region 3. We are so pleased to welcome our speakers for the month. We have Shannon VanLandingham and Liza Gant. In today's Health Bytes, our speakers will be giving a presentation on a recently funded project called Claire's Community. So I'd like to thank you both for being our expert speakers today. Shannon is the founder and executive director of Be More Like Claire. She brings a lifetime of experience in leadership and nonprofit volunteering to this position. So throughout her life, she served as a trainer, a facilitator, and an educator while organizing leadership programs, planning events, and honing her skills in fundraising for good causes. She loves her family and friends, music, big laughs, and finding the right person for the right job. Working to continue her daughter's legacy of love and service is helping her find healing for her shattered heart. Liza Gant is the community outreach and social media coordinator for Be More Like Claire. While not the founder of Be More Like Claire, outreach coordinator Liza likes to think of herself as one of the originators of the concept. 5 years her junior, Liza idolized her cousin Claire from a young age and acted as her second shadow for most of her childhood. She's also in her second year as a non-traditional student pursuing a degree in psychology. She plans to attend grad school and eventually work as a therapist for teens and young adults. Liza is passionate about all forms of interpersonal relationships, and she's super jazzed about the expansion of Claire's community. So in today's Health Bytes, our speakers will be giving a presentation on expanding Claire's community. This is a year 2 project, creating a partner violence education program. And so thank you so much for being our guest speakers this morning. And I'm going to turn everything over to you. So let me stop sharing here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
All right. All good?
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm Liza Gant. I'm the outreach coordinator.
I'm Shannon. I'm Claire's mom. And before we can talk about Claire's community, we really need to go back to the beginning and talk about who's Claire. That's one of the questions people ask us most frequently. So Claire had 2 big brothers who loved her and loved teasing her and just loved laughing with her. She was a dancer her whole life, got a little better. She went along. And it was always one of her most fluent languages was just doing everything in dance. She danced when she was happy. She danced when she was sad. She believed in mentoring and giving back. She was a Girl Scout all of her life and achieved the Gold Award, which is the highest award a Girl Scout can achieve. And when she was in college, she was a Girl Scout leader. And this was her little troop of juniors in Girl Scouts in Bloomington, Indiana. She was a big environmentalist, always tried to leave the smallest carbon footprint. One of the things she did was do a summer in Vietnam, researching the impact of pollution on rural and urban areas there. She graduated from Indiana University and with a dual degree in chemistry and nonprofit management. I wish she were here to help. When she was in dental school in the University of Louisville, she realized that she wanted to, when she started, she thought she wanted to have a free clinic. And so she joined the Navy as a way to pay for dental school so that she could graduate without debt and achieve that dream. As she went along, she realized she needed to move upstream and do more prevention. And she was a big believer in community prevention. Her house was always like the mom house, where there was always, good food to eat and fun parties and just a cozy, clean place that all of her friends would always tease her that she had the mom house. So she then joined the Navy after dental school. She was stationed at Great Lakes in Chicago, doing dental work on thousands of recruits that came through. She had been dating a young man for a couple of years, kind of off and on, but she was concerned about things, and she would ask me, "Mom, do you think this is healthy?" And I would say, "I don't know. Maybe sometimes he's kind of a jerk, or maybe he's immature, but he's really charming. He seems like a nice guy." I didn't know. She did eventually break up with him in October of 2017, and he left, and she had gone to she was really, things were getting bad, and she was scared of him, and she'd gone to the police to say, can you get him out of my apartment? I'm scared of him. He's acting really weird. I know he has guns, and he won't leave. And they said, well, you let him in, there's nothing we can do. And she said, well, I'm scared of him. I know he has guns. I'm afraid. And the officer said, well, has he hit you? And she said, well, no. And he said, well, come back, call us when he's done something. So anyway, we got him moved out. He went back to Louisville, where he's from, and she came home for Thanksgiving. She came home for Christmas. We had such a great time. And she said she just felt so relieved. Then when she went back after Christmas, she was coming down for work on her first day back at work on January 3rd. And he was waiting in the parking lot. He had stalked her and was waiting for her to come down to work at 6:20 in the morning, and shot her 5 times. So she died on the dirty snow in that freezing parking lot in Chicago. And it was just unimaginable. So out of that, Be More Like Claire was born. And we have a little video that talks about kind of the origin of how the organization started. And at the beginning is a home movie, so.
You and me, we used to be so stupid, awkward, and carefree, but we grew up a little in that house on South Downs Road. You and I would laugh at anything, strum guitar at night and sing about Iowa sunshine on the road and Willow cheese. But slowly, surely, we grew apart and moved out on our own. Without you, I don't even feel like I'm ever truly home. Someday I hope that you look back and smile upon us.
Claire was an exceptional person. She had a big heart, a really sharp mind, and was filled with compassion and drive and laughs and dancing. She was always a wise soul. She seemed older than her years. She just was really present and genuine and fun to sing with and fun to make music with and fun to be silly with. At family reunions, there would be pop-up talent show. And one time I remember her and one of her dear friends, Gigi, did an interpretive dance that was hilarious. After Claire died and her friends found out, they were just flooding Facebook with tributes to her. And they were all kind of saying the same thing, that, wow, we sort of counted on her to be the one to always do the right thing. And now I realize I need to do more of that, and I want to be more like Claire.
Be More Like Claire came about as a force of nature. It was almost like the energy that Claire brought to the world, like dispersed and then formed again.
Somebody in her dental school class just started the hashtag, and it just took off. It summed up what they were all feeling. On her birthday, I got a call from a high school friend of hers that said, I bought you a present for Claire's birthday. And I thought, what could that be? And he said, I bought the domain name of bemorelikeclaire.org. He said, I don't know what you're going to do, but I know you're going to do something. And I just thought this might come in handy.
Claire did, and we knew would do so much good in the world, that we felt that now that she's gone, we had a responsibility to carry that on. It was just a beautiful outcome of a horrible, horrible event that Shannon decided to pull some of us together and start this organization.
Our mission has 4 parts to it, and they're all based on the things that Claire worked for and that she was passionate about. The first one is increasing access to food, housing, and healthcare, mentoring and providing leadership opportunities for kids, working to end relationship violence, and trying to create a healthier environment.
Before Claire's tragic death, she was active in the movement to end violence against women.
She filmed a public service announcement that ran on TV.
We seek to create healthy relationships and safe communities. We will rise up as a community and say that violence against anyone is unacceptable.
Not only how she was taken, but how she lived. We needed to include work to end violence against women.
Claire was always a volunteer. Practically from the time she was born, she was always trying to do something good for someone.
Not only are we trying to carry on her legacy and just continue to make the world a better place, but also how do we rise to that occasion and live our best lives and use Claire's example as great inspiration.
We hope to continue to create a community that can give in whatever way they can, and kind of follow her example. And I think our tagline says it best: be kind, work hard, give back.
So we started with these guiding principles and realized as we went along that they are really also the protective factors that help people in so many ways to live safe, healthy lives. And where we are proud to be still carrying those on, only in a different way. These are some past programs. You saw some of those in the video that we did for the first 5 years, we were a grant giving organization, and we just gave grants to people to organizations who were working to make these, to fulfill the guiding principles that we had and do the work that Claire was so passionate about. And but all through that time, I was doing research, trying to find a program to fund that would have given Claire and me the information that we needed to know if it was healthy, if that relationship was healthy, or what we should have known. And I just kept coming back to her call to action and that public service announcement. We will rise up as a community to say that violence against anyone is unacceptable. We found a lot of things that were like secondary and tertiary intervention and advocacy for after the fact, but we couldn't find very much prevention work at all, and certainly none that was educating adults on what an unhealthy relationship looks like. So that's what we're doing. And we're using the social ecological prevention model because nothing happens in a vacuum. And so we try to work with individuals. We work and we realize that they are all in relationship with other people. And so we need to train the entire community so everyone can understand, and then we can change societal norms. So as I was doing all this research for those first 5 years, I came across this, and a shout out to NNLM. We used a lot of PubMed and Medline Plus materials. We did a lot of research on there. It was so nice to be able to pull up resources that we needed to look at. But the thing that the CDC's package was really important, I think, because it was the only thing I had ever seen that said throughout the lifespan. And that is so important. So we created our mission to challenge and disrupt societal norms around relationship violence through education and awareness. And that is for all ages. And some examples of the societal norms, victim blaming, rape culture. Why don't they just leave all the patriarchal systems we've had in place for centuries? And the idea that it's none of my business, it's a personal thing. We don't talk about it. And our vision would be empowered communities that foster healthy relationships in safe, protective environments. And empowered communities, we would believe and support victims, would be upstanders, and we would understand what consent means. There is a vast problem that people do not understand what consent is, and that they would be equipped with information to help them create healthy relationships and internal systems of support.
All right. So since our mission really emphasizes educating the public about relationship violence, I just wanted to go through a couple of things that we really hit on in our mission. There's a lot of inaccurate portrayal of relationship violence and a lot of inaccurate understanding. So I just want to take a second to talk about redefining basic terms. There's a difference between unhealthy and abusive, and we talk about red flags a lot in our programs. So one thing we really envisioned when we started was having a website that had a lot of easy to navigate, consolidated, readily available information. And thanks to this grant from NNLM that we got, we do have this website, claire's-community.org, that fills all the needs. The things that I'm going to be running through and much, much more are available there. So I just want to clarify a couple things. When we talk about abuse, it's not just physical. An abusive relationship is just defined by a pattern where one person tries to consistently impose their will against another. Impose is the key word. This isn't just, your partner asking you to do a chore that you don't want to do and snapping at you about it. This is a consistent use of power and control to for one person to get what they want at the expense of another. Violence, we define as any behavior designed to create fear. So this is just anything that can make somebody feel unsafe or insecure in their home environment or wherever. And then we talk a lot about coercive control, which is a lesser known form of relationship abuse. It's using non-physical abuse to gain power and control over someone by just eroding their autonomy and self-esteem. Like I said, it's lesser known, but we do talk about it a lot in our trainings. It is also, I do want to emphasize that unhealthy is not the same thing as abusive. Healthy, unhealthy, and abusive behavior all exist on a spectrum. So one of the big goals in our trainings is to teach people red flags of unhealthy relationships and green flags of healthy relationships. So just things that you need to look out for, indicators that either the relationship is working and there's healthy communication and emotional regulation, or just, warning signs that indicate unhealthy behavior, that the relationship is causing stress for one person or is potentially leading towards coercive control and abuse. We created this video series called That's What's Healthy. It's a 10 video series that shows 10 different relationship scenarios. It's between young people, but it is applicable through pretty much all relationships. And again, our fabulous website, we have all of these videos under the Learn module. So this is under That's What's Healthy. You can watch all of them on there. They're really, really excellent. We are thrilled that we were able to put together something this cool. I just want to talk real quick about one of the red flags that we discuss. A big one, just an example of a video that talks about manipulation. So just trying to exploit or control someone else's decisions, actions, or emotions. This can be through gaslighting, through verbal abuse, emotional abuse, etc. And I'm going to play this video really quick. And I want you, as you're watching it, to try to notice the manipulation at work and also the healthy behaviors that are present as well. It's just a minute long.
Hey, what's going on? I just don't know what to do anymore. I really want to break up with Liam, but every time I try to get some space, he threatens to kill himself. Has he actually said that to you? Yeah. He says that he just can't live without me, and that if I break up with him, he'll have no one, and I don't want him to hurt himself. I'm just so scared to leave.
Wow, I am so sorry that this is happening to you. You are not responsible for the way that someone chooses to react. It is not your obligation to stay, and you're not required to fix him. It's not your job.
I know. I'm just so tired of feeling guilty and responsible for what he chooses to do. It's time I walk away. I want a relationship built on love and respect, not threats.
I agree. Absolutely. He needs to talk to someone, but you are not his therapist. You need to do what's best for you. I am so proud of you, and whatever you need, I'm here. I support you 100%. I'm here.
Manipulation happens when a person tries to exploit or control someone else's decisions, actions, or emotions. Recognize controlling behaviors and strive for an open, caring, and supportive relationship. That's what's healthy. For more information, visit the Claire's Community website. All right. So again, really, really proud of this video series. A little bit more about manipulation. It does take many forms. It's more difficult to spot than other red flags because it's expressed more subtly. The manipulation present in this one is this last example in this list, which is threatening self-harm if your partner tries to leave you. And this is just one example. There's the silent treatment, using emotionally charged means to influence someone else's feelings, and bringing up past mistakes, just deflecting responsibility. It encompasses a lot of different things. So yeah, we really, really want to educate people on just signs, not only of abuse, but of lesser known red flags. And that brings us to, all right, talk about some of our programs. Here you go, Shannon.
Okay. So this whole new prevention arm of Be More Like Claire is called Claire's Community. And again, we got that from her call to action, we'll rise up as a community. So the first program that we did was Claire's Community for Practitioners. We co-wrote this with our local, the Willow Domestic Violence Center and Family Peace Initiative, which is a batters intervention doing fabulous innovative work with those who batter. And it's for it's an all-day training for social workers, teachers, nurses, anybody who works with people who might be, who might be affected by this, which is everybody. And it's just a deep dive into what to look for, how to spot flags, how to help people who might be in relationships, or how to recognize that they are in one. We also have the goal of educating adults. So this was our first one, and this was one that all of our programs are CDC recommended and research based, and this one happens to be from Vermont, the Vermont Network, and it is just giving adults a guide to how to be that askable adult for a kid, or anyone really, but it's framed in a way how to do that, because we know that if kids have at least one trusted adult in their life, they are much more active to be successful, to have the resilience to have a better life. So we want adults to be that, and we're trying to help people to learn how to communicate in ways that are non-judgmental, that are not, lecturing, that are not doing all the things that we tend to do when talking to younger people or people that we think we know what they should do. Another program is called In Their Shoes, and it is an interactive scenario, and you get a card with your character's name on it. You go through different, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. It is aimed at teen dating, and you make choices and decide things. So every story is different. Each story is actually a true story written by young people who were in these relationships. So they cover all kinds of things. And then afterwards, we do a debrief to talk about the unhealthy things that we saw, and how that could be better. We talk about the power and control wheel, and it's great for kids, anybody 14 and older, to understand they're seeing this in their relationships or with their friends. It's great for older people to get more empathy for young people, because they probably have no idea what dating, or what we would call dating, is like right now. So it's a great program.
And we have time for the video.
Okay. So this is an actual video, and we partnered with our local library. That's where we hold these classes.
Your mother is framing some recent family photos. Mom, I need to talk to you. I think George might tell you some things. I wanted to tell you the truth. We're more than just friends. Silence. George, he didn't treat me right. He hurt me. He scares me. Maybe George isn't the right man for you, but there are good men out there, your mother replies. This isn't right.
So tell us who you walked with and what their relationship was like.
Feeling I got was like almost like the noose tightening around her, because like just kept getting, he would show up at her work and like trying to help do her a favor and things like that. And like she would say, I don't want to be together, very clearly communicated that, and just dismissed.
But she was still in danger because he was threatening her. And
I'm Sam, and I'll be 15 next month on April Fool's Day. Always been something a little funny about you, my dad says every year. I don't think he really means anything bad by it.
I guess I had my first crush on a girl when I was 7, but I had no idea that's what it was. A few nights later, she took me to a party with the most amazing girls and women, and all of them were lesbians. I felt like I could finally breathe.
I love Sam's innocence, the way every lesbian is a minor miracle to her. Of course, I'm the major miracle for her. And yeah, that feels good. Thanks to me, she sure had a hell of an easier time finding community than I did. I've been on my own for 3 years, since I was 14. I'll be 18 next month. I work 3 jobs, but it's not like for me. I just like to keep busy, and there's no one else to look out for me. Sam's frisky and adorable, but she's got 0 street smarts. She's she's got me to take her under my wing and show her the ropes. Yikes. Uh-huh.
You're muted.
That particular class was during Pride Month, so it was targeted for the LGBTQ community. We are very open and welcoming to anyone who wants to learn. We know that abuse happens in all kinds of relationships, and it happens in, you know, relationships with friends, with family, it's not just about you know, the domestic violence, which I hate that term because I think people have in their mind a specific thing that is, but we all have lots of relationships, and we want to just help people have healthier ones at all stages and ages of their life. This is from a survivor. So I grew up around a lot of toxic relationship situations and was raised thinking that behavior was normal. So in my late teens and early 20s, I thought taking emotional abuse from men was just part of a relationship. Had I had some sort of intervention, or someone had told me earlier in my life, hey, this behavior isn't okay, and here's why, I probably wouldn't have endured as much as I did as a young adult. And this is something that we hear a lot, that people just don't know. And we only know what we've been shown. And the only tools we have are the tools that have been given through us throughout our lives. And not all of us have a very great toolbox. So we feel affirmed that we are definitely on the right track here. Another impact story that we had was a young woman took our class, one of our classes. Well, she took in their shoes. And then several months later, she was at her bachelorette weekend, and she realized that, you know, 3 out of 4 of her bridesmaids were in unhealthy relationships. And one of them she was really worried about. And so she talked to her friend a little bit, and she said, oh, the things that she was saying were just running chills down my spine, because I was just seeing all these red flags. And one of them was, well, he's not hitting me, so it's not abuse. So she went to the website, found the power and control wheel, and showed it to her and said, I just, you know, I think that you might find this interesting. Look at this and see. And she did. She went to right there on our NNLM funded website to find the power and control wheel, looked at that and realized that yes, it was. And a few months later, she decided to leave that relationship and is doing very well. So that is what we want to see. We want to see people recognizing, and whether it's recognizing that you're doing it or someone's doing it to you, those are both equally important, because we all do unhealthy things.
Sorry. All right. Again, I cannot emphasize how cool the website is. We are putting up new stuff weekly. I have a lot of blog posts with personal testimonies, resources for people who are going through relationship violence. And we also have a really neat search feature. So for example, if Emma wanted to just look up friend is in an abusive relationship, she could pull up this article that we have here, how to help a friend. And we talk about, this is a really, I think, really nice article because we talk a lot about what to do if you're in an abusive relationship, but there is not a ton of information on what to do if a friend is. I think a big misconception is that people feel that they can that just saying, well, you should just leave him is a helpful thing to say, and it's not. It's about creating a dialogue establishing yourself as a safe person to talk to, and really honing that girl just dump him instinct. So there's a lot of good information about things of that nature on the website.
So we have a lot of, so far we've done Claire's Community for Practitioners. We are training adults with the Askable Adult campaign. We are talking to teens and adults about relationships as far as and walking in their shoes. Some other upcoming programs that we want to get into, we want to get more into including more boys and men. And so we have, we are certified to doing coaching boys into men, which is this little playbook that we can give to coaches, and we help the coaches, we train the coaches to do this, and it's just 10 or 15 minute little lessons that they can do with their team once a week throughout the season to really change the culture. And because we realize that, you know, the things that come into making a good team are the same things that you use to build a good relationship. So we're doing that one. We're doing starting and we want to do more relationships with parents and teens taking classes kind of concurrently. We have one for middle school and one for high school, and then the kids come for between 6 to 8 sessions. The parents do 3 sessions, but learn what the kids are talking about and have homework and conversation starters and questions to talk about, so that, you know, when you pick up your kid from you know, going to their session and say, well, how was it? What'd you learn? It's fine. It's okay. You have somewhere to start and something to talk about. And we think that's going to be fabulous. The other thing is a call to men that's just promoting healthy, respectful manhood. And we are in negotiations with them to start doing their program in our community and having community conversations with men and that are very male-led, and talk about, this is where the man box idea comes from. And it's just the idea that we put men in this box of you can't show your feelings, big boys don't cry, you have to be in charge, you have to be strong and the boss, you have to be the man of the house, just all those things that we that we raise boys and men with in our society. And it's very harmful to them that they can't be their authentic selves. And then we all know that hurting people hurt people. So we definitely need to get men involved. Most men are not violent. Most men do not hurt other people, but the vast majority of people who are perpetrating abuse are men. So we need to include, that's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. And as far as things we have just available and I would just like to talk about this really quick. Our very own Margie Shepherd and Shannon did a podcast together that is absolutely fabulous. Covers a lot of stuff we covered today, a lot more conversational. It is lovely, and it's only 20 minutes long. So, want to curl up with a cup of tea, take a walk, get some stuff done around the house. I know that my house is never cleaner than when I have a good podcast to listen to. So, if you're interested in following us on Facebook or Instagram, I do have these QR codes, and we are posting stuff all the time, sharing blog posts, information, things that we have coming up. If you would like to contact us for any reason, we don't do interventive services, but if you want to contact us with inquiries about scheduling a presentation, Shannon does personalized ones. We want to meet people literally and figuratively where they're at. So we can do a Zoom training. We can, in person, come to you. We've already trained, I think, several. We trained DCF here in Lawrence, Kansas. We trained some social workers in Wyandotte. We're going into some of the schools next year, which is super, super exciting. So if you guys are part of an organization that would be interested, please, please, please contact us. We would absolutely love to do something for you. All right. And then just one thing I have here that I really, really like to hit on is how can you help in a day-to-day, just in a day-to-day sense. And there are a lot of things that we can do to help prevent relationship violence. It's just small things. Learning and recognizing red flags is a huge, huge thing. Again, a lot of those lesser known ones, controlling behavior, etc. Learning how to be a good listener, listening without judgment, just hearing somebody out, not asking questions like, why don't you just leave that person? Participating in community events that raise awareness, being an active bystander or upstander, so intervening if you see something wrong, and just remaining caring, curious, and non-judgmental.
So we can now take questions.
We thought we were going to run over, but we're running a little bit under. Got too much.
Yeah, so there was a question about what was a man box, and I think you addressed it, but let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, okay, so here's a question, so from your research, were you able to link possible mental health factors as subtle red flags that may contribute to manipulative, abusive, or predatory behavior, minus narcissism? So I don't know if you found anything that, that was a linking factor.
Well,
Maybe.
One of the things that I want to make really clear is that, and a lot of gun advocates try to say that homicide in partnerships is a mental health issue, and there are lots of people who are mentally ill who do not ever kill anyone. So I don't think that is a valid point on their part. I think that I haven't seen any information that says that there is a link between mental health issues. I'm sure that we all experience different times when we're having a mental health issue and we're not at our best, but I haven't seen anything that links it to abuse.
Yeah, definitely. There is a correlation, but there's a lot of environmental factors that are similar as well. It's not something we can necessarily say this is completely contributed.
Thanks for that. So I have a question, and maybe you just share this with our audience. What kind of barriers or problems did you have launching the project? I mean, there's a lot of really great work here. So did you encounter anything or anything you could share with our audience that you were able to overcome?
Well, the first thing was just it being really intimidated to apply for a federal grant because we're so new and tiny that it was really scary. But we had Margie to walk us every step of the way, and oh my gosh, that was so good. And we screwed up a lot of times on stuff, and they would just the team would just help us, and that was amazing. We really felt supported. Other things were just everything takes a lot longer when you are trying to build something than you think. And so like, we wanted, we thought things would come faster, but then when I look back, it really has happened. I mean, just in a year, we have built this. So I think that's really amazing. So yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to like we tried in the beginning to have a lot of just public classes, and that doesn't seem to work as well as when we do a specific group. Like we are now training hair salons. We are training all the employees at a bank, a regional bank here, and that one will have a specific, a little more emphasis on spotting financial abuse. We are training, as Liza said, DCF, Department of Children and Families staff, because they see a lot of the aftermath, but don't necessarily, wouldn't know how to help head it off and prevent. So it's really, it's fascinating the different ways that we can help. That I've trained teachers and counselors in a school system. It's really interesting, and it because it affects everybody knows somebody, and maybe it's them, maybe it's a loved one or a niece or a friend, but this is such a prevalent problem, and it is possible. That's one thing that I took such great hope from the CDC's package, that prevention is possible. We can learn new ways.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been really nice working with you all, and really Region 3 couldn't thank you enough for being a great partner and working with us to help your project become a reality. So we're going to go ahead then and check to see if there's any other questions. Okay. Getting lots of thank yous and great comments in the chat. So, well, if there's no more questions, I want to thank you both for joining. So thank everyone for joining us, and also want to have a special thanks to our speakers, Shannon and Liza, sharing your expertise and sharing the work that you did, and talking about Claire's life has just been a really great thing for our participants and for those of us here at Region 3. So I really want to thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at next month's Health Bytes with Region 3.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for watching. This video was produced by the network of the National Library of Medicine. Select the circular channel icon to subscribe to our channel, or select a video thumbnail to watch another video from the channel.